Did you know that on the back of the dumpster in the SpongeBob DLC for Power Wash Simulator, you can see the most handsome creature to ever exist? Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs. If Easter eggs are your sort of thing, perhaps consider subscribing as that's what this channel is all about, and please leave a like on this video as some of these Easter eggs take a really long time to record. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Now, if there was a type of Easter egg that I wish we saw more of, it's the video game character cameo. Of course, I understand that copyright is a thing, so that limits the characters that you can have appear in your game. But for companies like Nintendo, who have tons of recognisable characters, it should be easy to slip Mario into Zelda or Link into Mario. Now, despite how sus that last sentence sounded, Nintendo did, in fact, slip Link into Mario. After defeating Bowyer in the forest maze, if you head to Gaz's house and take a nap, when you wake up, you won't be alone. So it seems that Mario isn't the only one feeling the pressure of saving the world, as in the bed next to Mario you can see Link enjoying a rest. Speaking of Easter eggs that I'd like to see more of, it feels like Easter egg weapons are becoming less and less common. It's a shame as finding a secret weapon that lets you shoot a rainbow blast out of the backside of a unicorn will be something that I'll never forget. Well, Ultra Kill does have a secret weapon that you can find, and the secret weapon on offer not only lets you kill an enemy in one hit, it will also keep you clean. So on the halls of Sacred Remains level, you can find a seemingly normal looking bar of soap. But this bar of soap deals 999,999 points of damage to whatever is unlucky enough to get in its way. The only problem is finding the damn thing after you've thrown it. The other Easter egg that I found in Dusk is somehow even stranger than an all-powerful bar of soap. On the Claire de Lune level, you can find a headless skeleton praying at an altar. Hidden behind the nearby stained glass, you can find a skull, and if you put the skull on the praying skeleton, you will make a friend for life. So, placing the skull on the skeleton will cause a dialogue box to appear, which informs you that nothing happened, but you decided to name the skeleton Hank anyway. Like I said, a friend for life. So after a couple of years in early access, Ready or Not has now been officially released. And with this official release came a couple of Easter eggs that can be found in the game's lobby. If you visit the dispatch team at the police station, you can check their monitors and see what's been happening. Now, in my opinion, these references are kind of obvious, but I want to see how obvious they really are. I'm going to show you a couple of police reports and I want you to guess what they are a reference to. After this video has been live for a couple of days, I'll quote unquote heart the comments that get it right. Good luck. Right, it's now time for our overused video game Easter egg of the week. The segment where we take a look at one Easter egg that has been referenced to death in video games. Today's Easter egg comes from the super addictive tower defense game Junk World, and is another nod to video games' most referenced car. Yep, it's another time-travelling DeLorean from the Back to the Future series, with the location of this DeLorean being a reference to the Back to the Future Part 3 where the car was hidden in a cave. Be sure to join me next time for another overused video game Easter egg of the week. Next up are more Easter eggs from the seemingly never-ending treasure chest of Easter eggs that is the Talos Principle 2. First up, in East 3 you can find a football, but unfortunately it's flat. Luckily for us, a pump can be found nearby, and sure enough, returning to the ball with the pump allows us to fill the ball with air. Now that you have a football, it's time to score a goal, and near where we found the pump, you can do just that. Up next on West 2, after jumping on seemingly random fans, you can find an empty cinema. And if you head to the projection room, you can play a film. Now, this Easter egg does go on for a bit, but in my opinion, it's totally worth it. But if you do want to skip it, you can do so using YouTube's chapters feature. So every now and again, a game seemingly comes out of nowhere and takes the internet by storm, and no one is quite sure how. And to me at least, that perfectly describes Palworld. It seems like almost overnight, everyone, everywhere, has an opinion on the Pokemon-like. And if you want my opinion, I think it's great. For an early access game to be this polished is seriously impressive, and even though I only jumped on to record a couple of Easter eggs that had been recommended to me, I carried on playing for some time after. Now, I'm going to be honest, the Easter eggs in Palworld aren't exactly the most inspired Easter eggs in the world. But let's face it, the game is red hot right now, so I'll be stupid not to cover them. First up, on the beach, you can find a mercenary with a wounded knee. And after your initial conversation with the person, when you next speak to them, they will go on to explain that they used to be a trainer like you until they took an attack to the knee. This is a pretty on-the-nose reference to Skyrim and this often repeated line of dialogue.
I used to be an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow in the knee.
Now, this next Easter egg may not even be an Easter egg, which I know doesn't really make sense, but bear with me. At this location on the map, you can find a level 50 cop called Reincarnated Guy. Speaking to the man reveals that he was hit by a truck and ended up on the island, only to learn that if he wished for pizza, he would get a slice of pizza, which is quite the superpower. And that's it. Like I said, this might not be an Easter egg, but I'm certain that there is more to this guy than meets the eye, so I thought I'd share it here to see if you guys had any ideas. Now, Hitman 3's campaign is full of over-the-top Easter eggs, but something that I've neglected in all of the Hitman games are the contracts that are added after the game's launch, and that's where today's Hitman 3 Easter egg can be found. In the author mission, you have to take down Craig, Black and Brother Akram on the Sapienza map. Black is the author in question, and being a famous author, he has his fair share of superfans, and one of those fans can be found in the sewers.
Mom, it's my money, but why can't you just be happy for me? Yeah, I'm hanging up now. Hanging up now.
So the superfan was wearing a costume with a mask that looks suspiciously like the mask Ghostface wears in the Scream movies. Now, I know it's not a one-to-one copy of the mask, but it's close enough to make me think that it's a nod to the slasher icon. Right, let's end today's video with Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, which is a sequel to the excellent Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. Now, unlike the first game, that played a lot like an old school Zelda game, Turnip Boy Robs a Bank is more of a roguelike, where you visit the same bank day after day and steal all you can. The thing is, certain rooms and elevators will change with every visit, which does help to keep things fresh. It's definitely different from the first Turnip Boy game, but once you get into the rhythm of robbing the bank, upgrading your skills, and then doing it all over again, it does get quite addictive. Now, the first Easter egg from Turnip Boy 2 could have featured in the overused video game Easter egg of the week. But despite being a familiar Easter egg, I don't think I've ever seen it done like this before. So when exploring the bank, you can find DJ Sizzle, who is a sword stuck into a pile of ash, which is a nod to the Dark Souls series. Mr. Sizzle will ask Turnip Boy to collect souls so that he can use them to unlock the Call of Duty mystery box-like crates at the back of the room. Like I said, this changes up the formula enough that I gave it a pass when it came to overused video game Easter egg of the week. The final Turnip Boy Easter egg can be found in the sewers. As you make your way through the maze of poopy pipes, you can find a blueberry that explains that his friend just vanished through the solid wall next to him. Sounds sus. Let's try it for ourselves. So, sure enough, walking through the wall will take you to the back rooms, where we can find the blueberry's friend, who explains that he wants to stay in the super creepy area because he wants a break from the blueberry. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. As I said, recording some of these Easter eggs does take a whole lot of time. If Easter eggs and hidden details are your sort of thing, perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.